Greetings, it is I, Tantus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome! It is time to continue our discussions of the lands, legends, planes, and planeswalkers of Magic the Gathering. I introduce you to the various elements that make up the storylines in the world of Magic the Gathering, giving you details on them. Today I'm introducing you to yet another realm. This one is a relatively important land from Dominiria, Llanowar. Many different creatures or storylines have been based around this place, so it makes it relatively important to the entire plane. Now, it is located to the southeast of Benalia, and it is a forest which ranges from a few hundred miles across to 1,000 miles across at its widest point. It is known to be inhabited by the Llanowar elves, a fierce outcast group of elves that are very xenophobic. A number of very powerful tree folk that are known to be in the center of the forest, and a number of deadly and dangerous elementals that even would attack the elves that live there. One of the more famous characters that have been known to interact with it was Miri the Cat Warrior, member of the Weatherlight crew, who is said to have trained in Llanowar. Now, most scholars believe that it is their isolation which has kept them safe. Now, the elves of Llanowar are very tribal. They break themselves into 7 kingdoms, or called elfheims, and from there they break into smaller tribes, which base around each of these elfheims. Small groups. Now, each of these groups is actually uniquely distinct in the way that their leadership is, their general hierarchy, social structure, the way they do things. They're each very unique in their actions. Now, it has been since before the Ice Age that they've existed here, and it's this isolationism that they believe has kept them safe from around that time period. They believed in this isolationism keeping people out of their forest and keeping them from interacting with them. They are based around this kind of religious ideology that kind of focuses them deep into their core. They have this mysticism that they believe their mystical connection to the forest would be lost if they get this interaction and mixing of cultures. Hence, and it's a driving force in the xenophobia and the kind of isolationism that they focus on as an entire group. Now, they are known to have a connection to the Shnalan Dryads, even though they are an entirely different forest, that they have this sort of spiritual overlay, that they have respect for them, even though they are separated by such distance. The planeswalker Feralise, when she was alive, was a revered subject and helped them to develop their isolationism. Is the fact that she was a half-elf was hidden to most of them, and in fact she is now revered as a goddess that very few would actually even think or know about the kind of heritage they have, because they would not believe it and it would kind of destroy their beliefs. So Feralise has become this goddess to the people. Non-elven invaders to the forest are often met with by death, but even elven invaders are oftentimes not in the safest shape. Even among other elfheims, they do tend to get along peacefully, but battles have been known to break out over disagreements on the way that they should be doing things and the way that they believe. Now, there are known to be very powerful guardian spirits that have protected Llanowar. The first was Lord Magnus, and even now more modern days is Molimo, the current protector of Llanowar, who's this spirit that looks after it. Now, during the Phyrexian invasion, Llanowar united together as one force under the banner of the elf Eladrimi, and he led them into battle against the Phyrexians. Llanowar was the first location in all of Dominiria that recovered after the invasion of the Phyrexians and the assault of Corona. So it was protected from these, and in fact it was Feralise and her death that protected them from the time shifts that kept the forest safe in that time period. Now, there are 4 important locations in the forest that we know about by name. 2 of them are the elfheims, Ruadak and Loridak. We only know a little bit about these 2 elfheims, and they are the only 2 that we know the names of. The other 2 important locations that are in the forest are Hadressel, a sacred place in the forest to the elves that is inhabited by the Llanowar druids, and Pendelhaven, the oldest tree in the entire forest, which is also considered a sacred place. Because of Feralise's influence, the Order of the Steel Leaf is a major force in the forest that seems to be beyond the normal control of the elf havens and their own force in her name. Now, the place itself has been represented in card form with the Planechase card Llanowar, the same namesake as it, so you can still see there is a card representing this location. There have also been many important creatures that have represented it, especially the Llanowar elves, which are the traditional one to see, but there have been a number of other ones that have been shown to represent parts of the forest and give examples of them. So that's it for today. I introduced you to Llanowar, an important forest in all of Dominiria and the storylines of Magic. it had its origins in Unlimited with the Llanowar elves that came back from all that time, and since then it has appeared in multiple locations and been fleshed out more, given an essence and an importance to it that makes it an interesting place to hear about. So if you have questions, comments, anything you want to say, anything you think I left out, please leave in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, source support with the channel, the Empire, and the work I do. If you want to show some more support, please check out my Patreon, linked in the description below. But regardless, until the next time, I bid you farewell.